Hello, how is everybody doing today? Today we're going to be starting a new series here. That's a part of a sort of broader collection of series that I want to do on various Victoria Two Nations. You're probably familiar with other YouTubers who've done Victoria to A to Z, but this is more just going to be a generalized guide for the Great Powers and one of my favorite mods, GFM, that being Greater Flavored Mod. So today we're just going to be covering the opening moves of an Austrian Empire playthrough. So let's begin. So to begin with, we have the Germanization sort of mechanic, which, to be honest, I don't know which path I'm going to be going for in this playthrough, whether that's decentralized to Austria-Hungary and then reforming into the Danubian Confederation, or continuing with sort of a absolutist, centralized Austrian Empire and focusing on Germanizing our non-Austrian regions. So, to begin with, Germanization is the process whereby various Slavic and Eastern peoples are subjugated to assimilation and conversion in policies in order to integrate them into a Germanic national identity. While the Austrian Empire is known for being multilingual and generally more lenient in this matter than the rest of Germany, it is still engaged in policies aimed at seeding German populations across its empire. The time is yet to show whether these policies will be expanded further to facilitate assimilation, or whether they will be abandoned in favor of a truly multinational union. We will assimilate them eventually. Of course, I'm playing alone. Yeah. Speed. And for this game, when I'm playing Vic, I usually like to have Splendid Isolation off. I know it's less sort of accurate, but I do like seeing a more involved United Kingdom. So I'll be having it for the railroading of especially colonies, as you'll see later. I'm going to turn this off, especially because Austria was not historically a colonial empire, and with railroading I can sort of be left out of the whole scum for Africa, maybe even Asia. So I am going to be turning this off so that maybe I can snag a view for myself and not just have the game give them all to the standard people. So let things happen like normal childhoods, and got it. So to start off with, I obviously like to do positive for the education efficiency. As you can see, our sort of sphere of influence is spread out through northern Italy and southern Germany. In standard fashion, I'm going to do the basic thing of sort of encouraging intellectuals. Just help me get my literacy rate off the ground, which we're currently 17%, which isn't that bad for sort of a Central Eastern European nation. For the starting things, I'm going to leave these all as they usually are. If we want to, I'm going to edit it before the game starts. Of course, throughout here we have our various starting decisions. Bavaria's offering us an alliance. Yes, I'll be taking that right off the bat. Now, for a nation which historically was not that industrialized, we are starting out pretty well in terms of industry. Obviously, this is something that we want to encourage later after I've gotten our education off the ground, but yeah. Since I am going to be trying to control southern Germany and contest Prussian dominance over this whole German sphere, I am going to be sort of trying to maintain somewhat my spherelings in. So yeah, we'll just be. I know this might seem inefficient, which it is, but we do have a whole plethora of nations which, fall under our sphere, and I like to have a little bit of passive diplo income. We're going to be contesting the Prussians on this. Obviously, basic starting stuff. Don't tax the rich, but tax the middle and lower classes, which obviously we want to get rid of that eventually, but yeah. Ideally, we want to get this education up for now, but, we'll have to unpause the game to get that started. Before we do get off our feet, though, I would like to get at least one army starting to build. Set that up as a rally point. I'm going to be taking the standard 4 infantry cavalry, and 4 artillery. But eventually, we're supposed to have an engineer within this setup. But for now, 5 artillery will be fine. But yeah. So we'll unpause the game. So, Dormots. In 1836, the states of the German Confederation were in the middle of the so-called pre-March. The name, derived from the later failed revolution of the March of 1848, was a period which was shaped by the Austrian and Prussian police states, the censorship of the press, and restricted freedoms. But it was also the time of German Romanticism, evolving nationalism, and great personalities, which made Germany to the land of poets and thinkers. German culture blossomed, intellectuals stood up against the reactionary governments, and such ideas such as national unity and wider suffrage became topics of a new liberal and democratic movement. At least they're allowed to drink. Yep. Let's see here. Any decisions come up? Yeah. Hungarian Reform era. I'll read some of the more important ones, but basically this is Hungary will sort of go through phases of trying to resist us, reform its internal state, and eventually revolt against us. So yeah, that is worrying news for a Austro-centric empire. It's interesting to always see how the immigration is at the start. The mod I am playing with again is Greater Flavor mod, and a few of the submods, including the over here. I think I went bankrupt. Including the terrain texture submod, so you'll see like, oh, Austria has its own unique picture, which these portraits are beautiful. But yeah, the terrain picture submod, and I'll have to refresh my memory after, but I will have them all linked, the download for them linked in the description of the video. Bremen, better paper disc, yeah. So obviously we are going to be going to war with essentially the two, all of our neighbors eventually, because that's just how things went for the Austrian Empire in our timeline. So Krakow is revolting, and we will be intervening just to put them down. Obviously, I would like to take a lenient stance on the Poles within the Empire, but that's something that will come later. Seems all of our Spherlings are going to be helping us out. Oh, that's interesting. We have our army assembling here. And yeah, the economy is something I will have to look at, but for now we're just going to have to prioritize getting our education going. And of course, war will be coming with the Prussians and the Italians. So it seems our literacy promotion, or rather intellectual promotion, is going well. Our literacy rate is increasing. So that is good. And Krakow offers us a peace. Yes, we will be accepting that. And more of our Spherlings are offering us an alliance. So just sort of expand the unmanned brigades. Eventually I'd like to get every single one of the armies in that sort of 4-1-5 posture that I described at the beginning. But for now, I'm going to be disbanding and reforming armies as I go. So yeah. Yeah, we would like to... We're going to be essentially on a tightrope balancing act, trying to balance various subjects, various political classes within the empire, and then eventually we'll be at a crossroads where we will have to decide what path we'll take, whether that's centralization or the other. So obviously, when I go the centralization path, there's another crossroads I can take where I have to decide if I want to form an Austrian-led Germany or continue as the Austrian Empire, and I'm leaning towards continuing as the Austrian Empire. Yeah. But we'll see what comes of that. Oh, Louis Napoleon has attempted a coup. This begins his rise to power in France. Right now, we'll be taking any allies we can get, especially since I wouldn't say while our power will be waning, our increase in power won't be as fast as, let's say, Prussia or Sardinia and Piedmont. We are hemorrhaging funds right now, but I would like to... Not that much, yeah. We'll increase tariffs slightly. And our first army is nearly assembled. I believe we have, yep, one more artillery unit being assembled here. Okay. First of our decisions. So, Trisnitz, can you tell me if I pronounced that wrong, a town near Thyssen, is excellently situated for a steel industry. It is located in the middle of the expansive coalfields of Upper Silesia, but also has large iron mines nearby. To industrialize our nation, constructing a steel factory would be a good idea. It would be a good stepping stone in the way to modernizing our economy. So yes, that is going to temporarily put us in considerable financial hardships, but you know what? We'll have to do. Okay, so our first army is assembled. For now, I'm going to mainly be concentrating forces near the Sardinian border, and then also population centers from the empire. Think Prague, think Vienna, think what will eventually become Budapest when we unify the two. And yeah, that's essentially any area that might have a revolt during the 1848 revolutions or be at war with us. Obviously, the worst of its own unification will be coming. So for now, this is going to be a center for a new army we're going to build. Again, we're going to be following that slavery debate within the United States. Just going to pause it for a second while we construct some more artillery. We got all the loans repaid. We have the Albanian revolt going on. Bulgaria, which is a fun campaign on its own. Eventually I'd like to make a video on that, but yeah. We're going to be very Western oriented right now. Eventually we will like to, obviously, there are some decisions later on if I do go centralization to reintegrate the Austrian crown of Poland and reclaim Habsburg, Serbia, but yeah, all in due time. Yeah, so for now we are, as any minimum level historian would know, Austria is a pretty agrarian society at this time, and that's very much reflected in our economy. We're not industrializing at any considerable rate, but that will change. Like I said before, I would like to seek out overseas colonies. However, that is very dependent upon my successes in Europe. I'll get decisions to sort of seize some minor territories. I believe I seize this sort of port down here. I eventually get some decisions to take colonies which Austria had ambitions on IRL. I believe Western Sahara is one, and sort of southern Ethiopia and Somalia being another. And of course I'll be going overseas to get some coaling stations, and obviously I would like some treaty ports in the future. So the Ruthenian, the Myrna, okay. So I am going to, for now, just let them have their book. Oh, and we have the Kaiser Ferdinand's Railway. So I will be constructing that. Will take up, our budget is not very large, as you might know, but that will change. Yeah, so this is an option that you can take if you lose Hungary, losing the 1848 Hungarian Revolution, which is a whole other can of worms. Eventually, that will happen, and I will be oh, okay. I will be taking the prestige hit, especially because Hanover will be coming to our side eventually. On the island of Mecklenburg. Yeah. So as the United Kingdom abandons its sort of last diplomatic vestiges on the continent, this sort of royal line split, I will be gaining control over this. I should, at least. I recall that in previous versions of this mod. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. We're doing not too bad, just the standard opening moves. Getting the economy in order is obviously a big priority. Getting our army restructured and getting our literacy rate up, so I won't be lagging behind in research. But yeah, thank you all very much, and obviously if you feel like it, subscribe, maybe even comment. But yeah.